As human beings, we all of us have two great powers within us, which are given to us ultimately to help us move out of ourselves. The first of those is anger. When properly ordered, anger can be a gift to us, which moves us out of ourselves in order to perform great acts of justice. The other great power which every human being has within him or herself is the power of sexuality. Sexuality, again properly ordered, is given to us in order to move us out of ourselves, and reaching out of ourselves ultimately to fall in love with the other, and ultimately that other being God. In the life of the celibate person, the person consecrating the whole of his or her life to God, that sexuality finds expression in giving oneself to God, principally through the life of contemplative prayer, a very direct gift of the whole of oneself, the whole of one's heart to God. But in the life of the married person, God makes himself present to the husband or to the wife through his or her spouse. And sexuality in the context of marriage finds its expression in giving oneself totally to one's husband or to one's wife, but in this way giving oneself totally to Christ, who is present in the husband or the wife. Christian marriage is about a covenant of self-gift. The spouses, the husband and the wife, choose to make a total and definitive gift of themselves one to the other. And in giving of themselves to each other, they give themselves to God, who makes himself present in their marriage, present in each of the spouses. And this covenant of self-gift finds its manifestation in all sorts of ways. In the love of friendship which exists between them, in working together to support and to raise a family. In all sorts of different ways, this covenant of self-gift finds expression in the life that the couple choose to form together. And this is the context in which the Church says that the marital act takes place. That physical act of intimacy, that physical manifestation of self-gift between the two, is in a sense a physical sign of the deep intimacy, the deep self-gift which takes place between them at the spiritual level. This act, each time the couple engage in it, in a sense renews that covenant which they began on the day in which they got married. It is in this context of the understanding of marriage that we can come to understand authentically the Church's teaching about contraception. In 1968, to the shock of many in the world, Pope Paul VI reaffirmed the continuous Catholic teaching that it is wrong to use artificial birth control even within marriage. But if we think about the context of what the marital act is, we can begin to see why this really does make sense. The marital act is the physical sign of the total gift of oneself to one's spouse. But when engaging in that act with contraception, the act is fundamentally changed. Rather than being about a total outpouring of oneself to the other, it becomes about a partial self-gift. I give myself totally to you, except for the power of my fertility, the power to procreate. I hold that back for myself. And the fact that it is the power of procreation is very important, because the power of procreation is that power which every human being has, in which he or she is most like unto God the Father, God the Creator. Artificial contraception is wrong because it's a decision to hold oneself back rather than to manifest the complete gift of oneself to the other. Sadly, very many people chose to interpret Paul VI's teaching as being a big no. But that's not what it is at all. What it's about is about saying yes. Yes to giving myself completely to the other. Yes to giving myself completely to the cause of life. Yes to giving myself completely and without reserve to God, who makes himself present to the husband or to the wife in his or her spouse. This teaching is a really positive teaching, and one which we can all reflect on and will learn more and more how to give ourselves to God in the gift of our sexuality.